Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this newscast on Équinoxe television. We begin with this human interest story in the Mungo division of the Litowa region, where a family in that part of the Litowa region is in grief after two children in that family died allegedly of food poisoning. They ate biscuits given to them by a man whose identity is yet to be revealed. The family, as we told you, have plunged into grief, as you'll hear in this report compiled by Glory Mala.
Old Gar Joshua and 8-year-old Ayang Ibrahim fled violence from the conflict southwest region and were living and studying in Quarter 7 Bangamungo Division, Litowa region of Cameroon. But their dreams and aspirations to further their education ends abruptly due to food poisoning provoked by the consumption of biscuits offered to them while on their way back home by an individual whose identity is still unknown.
I'm back now around 5:10.
The kids came back home at 5 p.m. and while they were watching television, the eldest brother started crying and vomiting while holding his stomach, so we immediately rushed him to the hospital. While at the hospital, he informed us that they were offered biscuit, but he didn't reveal the identity of the individual before dying. After being aware that the kids might have been poisoned, family members rushed home to save the older brother. Unfortunately, while he was being taken to the hospital, he gave up the ghost. After we were informed about what happened, we rushed back home in order to save his brother, who equally ate the biscuit. We saw him lying on the ground, so we took him to the hospital. While on our way, he gave up the ghost. At the family residence, everyone is in tears while wondering who must have committed the tragic act. The divisional officer for Banga was at the family residence to express his heartfelt condolences. Meanwhile, investigations are ongoing to establish the exact cause of their death.
Cyber insecurity continues threatening the growth of African nations. African nations are now enhancing efforts to counter growing cyber security threats in the maritime sector. It is for this reason that seaport officials from across the continent have conversed on Douala for a training meeting. Babla Jonathan was there and now tells us more.
Cybercrime in the maritime industry is becoming a major issue due to the increasing use of information technology systems. Maritime operational technology and fleet operations are almost all entirely digital, and because of this, cybersecurity experts say cyber attacks can compromise anything from vessel communication systems to cargo management and engine monitoring and control. To counter this threat, these port officials from different African nations are being equipped with cybersecurity knowledge and know-how. In Douala,
we have been doing both theoretical and practical explanations and introductions to give the participants a full round of cybersecurity experience. We have discussed about many topics, such as regular cyber hygiene, technical trainings, but also executive decision-making issues.
We've learned a lot of very useful tools that will enable us to start building and implementing cybersecurity in our port infrastructure.
While efforts are being made to step up cybersecurity in the maritime sector, seaports remain vulnerable to criminal activities, including cybercrimes.
For the past years, exorbitant taxes have adversely affected economic activities across the national territory. And most of those businesses affected are small and medium-sized enterprises. Officials of the Ministry of Finance say tax collection will continue in Cameroon as it plays a vital role in the realization of projects. We have details in this report by A.C. Luciliango.
Within a fiscal year, rising taxes has been preoccupying to taxpayers who have always wanted a clear justification of tax rates and reduction of taxes. The increase has negatively affected the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises and other businesses. Unfortunately, this reduction, according to the Minister of Finance, is far-fetched.
we have a target to collect more revenues, more internal revenues, because we can't rely only on petrol or external debt. So we have to achieve a good target as far as the collection of internal revenue is concerned. And when I talk about internal revenue, I mean the fiscal department.
To discuss issues related to tax matters, the minister reassured the population of a series of meetings which will be held by taxation officials and the private sector.
Un dialogue permanent, fécond et constructif entre notre administration fiscale et les groupements d'entreprises est d'autant plus essentiel.
These will help address issues plaguing the taxation sector like fiscal fraud.
Avec les notions telles que fiscalité confiscatoire et loi de finances élaborée en cachette.
Minister Louis-Paul Motazier was speaking during the inauguration ceremony of the Regional Taxation Center of Littoral 2 in Bonanjo.
And this is why we came here today, because if you want them to achieve what you expect from them, you have to give them all the means. And the means are good infrastructure, good services, the tools that they need. That means
it is therefore a daunting task for tax authorities who are expected to reduce taxes, generate revenue for the realization of projects for the 2024 financial year.
The African Nations Cup in Côte d'Ivoire is gradually coming to an end. Of course, that will be this Sunday. In the meantime, the third place match will be played today between the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Africa. In a pre-match press conference yesterday, Coach Hugo Bruce of the Bafana Bafana of South Africa noted that what is important is who lifts the trophy and not the third place or the fourth place. Smanjikan Gabriel was part of that conference and now tells us more.
Press conference before the third place game of the AFCON, the head coach of Bafana Bafana declares that the third place game wasn't supposed to be played.
If you ask my advice, this game has not to be played. The most important thing in a tournament like this is number one. If you are number 3 or number 4, for me it's exactly the same, because this is only for statistics. Number 1 is important, and number 1 we will always remember.
On the other hand, the coach of the opponent in Saturday's encounter is motivated to get the bronze medal. We are very motivated to play in the third place game. When we engage in a tournament, it's for us to play from start to finish. True, it's coming after a very big disappointment, but we are professionals, so we have remobilized ourselves, and winning the medal is at stake. According to the Belgian tactician of South Africa, he is hoping that his players will be psychologically fit ahead of the game after the elimination last Wednesday.
I hope that my players will be enough recovered of the knockdown they got on Wednesday.
If the coaches of Bafana Bafana and the Leopards had different views about the game, their players who accompanied them to the pre-match press conference believe the third place medal is important. We are aware of our good show in the tournament and we wanted to be at the summit. The third place is very important, and the bronze medal will be a sort of reward for our performance in the African Nations Cup, and that is why we are more determined to finish what we started.
The game is going to be very special to us as we continue with the dream. Really never thought that we can afford to be in this position at this major tournament.
South Africa and the Democratic Republic of Congo met last year in a friendly. The Bafana Bafana defeated the Leopards by 1-0.
And just to note that the African Nations Cup has attracted a lot of tourists to visit the West African nation. And one of the most popular destinations for most of the tourists is the Assini Mafia Island. What's peculiar about this island, we find out with our special envoy, Manjikan Keba.
Welcome to Assini. We are in the southeast of Côte d'Ivoire, department of Adiake, and of course we are in South Commune region. This area is being noted because it has so many beaches. It is a zone where many people from Abidjan come to enjoy themselves. We are here to discover Assini, and we're going to tell you more as we make our tour into Assine. Assine Mafia is located 80 kilometers east of Abidjan along the coast of the Gulf of Guinea. It is a narrow settlement along the coast on both sides of the outlets of Abi Lagoon. At the mouth of the lagoon, several business activities are operational, ranging from the sales of food to the sale of beach outfits. One of the most popular activity here at the lagoon of Assine Mafia is the transportation of tourists on boat to the main beach of Assine Mafia. The transportation fare depends on the number of people, as we were told. To make a trip round the village, it will cost 50,000 francs if it is 2 or 3 people. But if the number of people is up to 10, instead of 10,000 francs per head, we can take 5,000 francs per person to take you round the village, because the village is an island. I told you that Assine Mafia is a zone which is noted because it has a lot of water. It's a beach, as we can see from the background. It is a zone that many people here come to relax, and of course we hear majority of the people who live here in Assine Mafia, they are into fishing. We are going to discover the little lagoon and of course take you to a place where many people here do have time to relax in the course of this discovery. After about 10 minutes of cruise on the boat, we finally arrived at the road leading to the main beach of Assine Mafia. At the level where the lagoon meets with the sea, when it's low tide, the difference is clear between the lagoon and the sea. But when it is high tide, the water of the lagoon changes to blue, and a variety of fishes get into the lagoon, reason why we eat different types of fishes, ranging from bar to tilapia. Most of the visitors at the beach come from European countries.
I came by boat.
Came by boat?
Yes.
You're from which country?
I'm from India.
From India?
Yes.
Is it a relaxation place for you?
Yeah, very good place, nice place. If you compare to West of Africa neighbor country, this country is very good country.
With some from other African nations. You see from the long line, that is the separation between the lagoon and the sea, the Atlantic Ocean. We are now at the other end of the lagoon of Assine Mafia. This is where most people come to have their relaxation when they are free. And during this Nations Cup, we are told that the affluence has increased because strangers have also come to Cote d'Ivoire as a result of the African Nations Cup. That was our discovery page this day from Cote d'Ivoire. We have Joel Esenge, Smart Njikan Gabriel on special assignment. Assine Mafia, Cote d'Ivoire for Équinoxe Television News.
Thanks so much, Manjikan Gabriel. And that's where we end this newscast on Équinoxe Television. Thanks so much for watching. Do have a splendid day and a nice weekend.